Hey, welcome, all my right thinkers. Thanks for tuning in to check out your boy, P Funk. Thinking right out here in the lab. Well, I do what I do for you. Oh, I got some more for you today. Let's get this party started. I got some good stuff. Rightism, 25 rules to live by. Storytelling, story with a message. There's a message in the story for life. I give life lessons. You tune in to receive them. We got a good thing going. Let's do what we do. Right thinking mission, and that's what I'm on, is to enlighten, inspire, educate, and motivate you, the individual, to a higher spiritual level of enlightenment. Tune in, you can get just that. Right Thinkers Way of Life, through mental and spiritual discipline, daily, will help and guide you to obtain your goal of spiritual enlightenment, aka know thyself. My mission is that all right thinkers know thyself through the lessons that I give on a daily basis. That will help you do just that. That's my mission. It should be your goal to get the information to know thyself. So I ask the question, do you know you? It's rhetorical, but if you don't have the answer for yourself, tune in. I can help you with that. That's what I do for you. A person who knows not and knows not that they know not is foolish. Disregard them. A person who knows not and knows that they know not. It's simple. You teach them. That's why I do what I do for you. Appreciate you too. Stay tuned. I got more for you. But a person who knows not and believes and thinks that they know is dangerous, avoid them. I do. A person who knows but knows not that they know is spiritually asleep. That's fine. I can awaken them. I'm the spiritual alarm clock here to wake you up with knowledge of self. A person who knows and knows that they know is wise. Follow them. All these persons reside in you. Right thinkers know thyself and to Mayat be true. I left off yesterday giving you the understanding, knowing the divine self, give you a good lesson. Now we're going to talk about right thinking. Let's talk about understanding why maintaining your cool is the main spiritual rule. Even in religion and philosophical concepts, I used it on the streets. Just used it, didn't know what it was, but it worked, so I can know that for a fact now. Maintain your cool is the rule. And I'm going to go over what? If I get time, knowing the real from the unreal. I do that all the time, teach you that. But then we got one to call right thinkers. You must develop humility. That's going to be a good lesson. I get to that. But let's start out with understanding why it's important to maintain your spiritual cool. In life, when you encounter adversities, and you're going to encounter adversity, rich, poor, white, black, yellow, green, don't make a difference. It's called life and it's adversity for a reason. You should direct your mind to reflect on your teachings. If you're a right thinker, when you hear me say aspirant, that's you, right thinkers. So I want you to understand, as an aspirant, these are the things that you should be doing. Trust me. And you reflect on the teachings that you learn on a day-to-day basis. And that's how you get your spiritual, your yoga, spirituality concepts. When you encounter adversity, don't freak out. Just direct your mind and acquiesce yourself and reflect on the teachings that you learn and use them. That's what they're there for. And nothing worse than the martial art kids. They send the kids to school for self-defense, learn martial art. First time they get into a real fight, they forget everything they learned. Why? They wasn't focused, they didn't pay attention, and they didn't learn nothing. So it's no use to them studying for a test. All you're doing is just cramming, trying to remember the answers to the test that you think the question gonna ask. Learn it, understand it, absorb it, and you easy. Roll right through it. That's the technique. Listen, reflect, meditate, and you got it. Try to remember everything is impossible. Learn how to learn. I'm trying to show you that and teach you that. Allow yourself to what? Develop dispassion. What's that? Taking your emotions out of situations. Develop dispassion toward what? Here you go. Those desires within you, which brought you to your current condition. If how you living ain't prospering, ain't benefiting you, why you continue to do it? If you're doing something that ain't bringing you happiness, joy, profit, why are you doing it? Simple. So you have to allow yourself, first of all, to fully experience what? the folly. What's folly? Your errors, nonsense, watch this, of your error, and let what? That profound realization of your error into your heart. Take your messed up stuff and take it to heart and change it. If it's not good, stop doing it. This practice, watch, will gradually what? Cleanse you of what? Your mental impressions, which push you to what? Attempt to gain a certain object, things in life, okay? Or circumstances benefiting you, which what? You now discover to be what? Empty and very unfulfilling. If all you want to fulfill is your desires, all you want to do is manipulate people, that's nothing. You get nothing from that. You serve your higher self. You do good for other people. You get benefits for that. I'm not a preacher. Again, I'm not preaching this. I'm teaching this. I'm giving you information. I'm not going to take a paragraph and talk to you an hour about this one paragraph. So I'm teaching. I got pages of information. I'm trying to get across to you. I don't want to go too fast. I want to make sure you get the understanding. So I try to slow it down and break it down. So that's what I'm doing. Sometimes it get a little lengthy, but I'm just trying to get across the message. I'm teaching, moving on. And when, what happened? What do you get down here? Now, when you allow yourself the full experience, this practice will gradually clear. Okay, well, I did that. Now, allow this flow. What? Allow this flow of mind to move toward what? The wisdom of what? The teachings that you learn on a day-to-day basis. There is nothing in this physical world of human experience, watch this, that can fully satisfy you internally. Nothing outside of you can satisfy the inside of you. So the happiness comes from within, not without. I'm trying to get you to get that concept. A lot of us think, if I get new things, I got a bunch of money, I'm going to be happy. You got rich people unhappy. So understand that. But you have to allow yourself to at least recognize the extent to which you are attached to what? Your ego personality. How much you gonna let your ego run the show? I shut it down. Why? I use my ego to my benefit. You must. Where we at? Now, when you're okay, have a perfect example. When your prosperity arrives, when good things happen, right? Okay. Do not get too attached to it. Why? Because you should know that it's fleeting. That new car not gonna stay new. That new house not gonna stay new. That bank account not gonna stay there. Why? It's gonna change. That's why. And that's called fleeting. That's illusionary. It's there now, but it'll be gone in a minute. Watch. So instead of what? You should praise who? Your divine self for what? Allowing you to have a position or situation which you can use to promote what? Harmony and peacefulness of mind, and for the study and the practice of the teachings of right thinking philosophy. When you practice what you learn, you will get better. Trust me. Now. So there can only, watch this, you can only be insulted and emotionally injured. Why? When there is an ego to be bruised. Most egotistical people don't want to be criticized, don't want to be told anything other than what they like to hear. Why? You bruise their ego. Again, right there. When you are, watch this, constantly worried about the approval of others, right there. If you run around trying to get approved about you being you by others, you crazy. And watch this. When you do that, you want the approval of others, or when you are constantly what? Accepting the insults of others. A lot of us get insulted, disrespected, and if you let all that run you, watch this. You worry about the insults of others, and you taking them what? Personally. If somebody's saying something about you that you know is wrong, why are you entertaining? But they said, nope. Why are you entertaining? Was it true? No. Okay, right there. So let them say what they say. You can't stop that. So stop worrying about it. You are in effect saying, watch this. This is what you're saying. Oh, I am this body and mind. No, you're not. I'm good or either I'm bad, according to who? Those people who are saying. Again, if you letting other people validate you, it's going to be that way. Or just as what my thoughts suggest. If you're not comfortable with yourself, you got insecurities, you're going to drive yourself crazy. Again, those are all fetters, self-inflicted. When you obtain knowledge of self, understanding of things that you should do, practicing things that you're learning, oh, you will be better. Trust me. Watch this. But you must develop, you ready? A philosophy. Right thinking, philosophy. I got understanding, and I can explain it to you, break it down for you, and you can use it. Why? And benefit from it. Trust me. A way of life. Wherein what? You are guided by your higher, more sublime vision, third eye, of your own divinity. God, we are all spiritual beings or divine beings having what? A human experience. We came here and lost our way thinking now we just human. Most ignorant people think they're human. And when you give prominence, watch this, to ethical values, that's what Maya teaches, right? Then philosophy follows, and make what? Your sensual and egoistic desires subservient. What would that mean? Put it under your control, your rule. Don't let it rule you. That's what it means. Watch this. And when you do that to the ethical principles, what'll happen? You develop all the good qualities needed for spiritual aspirations, which is yourself, and spiritual enlightenment. You have to put your best foot forward. When you give prominence, watch this, to the senses of enjoyment, you want pleasures, and the ego, you want what you want, what's happening? Now you are creating you're creating what? More entanglements, aka fetters, watch this, in life, and you have more restlessness in your mind, which leads you where? Away from spiritual realization and further into what? Your human experience. Again, we become too human, thinking this is it. Wanting to be happy with sexual pleasures and money, monetary things. We ain't worried about being spiritual, doing the right thing, and living right. That's a societal problem. Okay, it ain't personal. It's a society thing. So don't think it's just you. Nope, nope, nope. I'm moving to the next page now. Here we go. Okay, I got a little more time. But now the purpose, I just showed you the book. Now the purpose of this book will show or explore what our ancient Egyptian teachings of Maya philosophy, what right thinking is, which are what? The progenitors, the beginners of what? Even in India, their Dharma and Christian concepts come from what? Ancient Egypt. All of these philosophies serve to what? Engender what? Here you go. Ethical and moral visions of life and produce what? Harmony for every individual in society. It ain't saying pick out somebody, it's saying every. So everybody has the opportunity. Oh, you got to tune in. I'm not going to get a bullhorn. I'm not running around trying to get your attention. Nope, I'm right here. I got a platform. You come and tune into me, I give you what you need. I'm not chasing, I don't do all that nonsense, but I'm here for you to do just that. And thus, what happens? They are looked upon as what? The foundation of spiritual development. It's a process. And now, here we go, the best part. You are not the body. We are not human. The body is human, but we are spirit. We are the spirit that gives it life. Hence, God. That's the spirit that's in the body that gives it life. We all have it. So ain't no one person. Calm down, calm down. Yeah, I get excited. You must develop what? Faith. What? In your own ability. Okay? No, not somebody else. Your own to what? To discover the right path, which leads to what? They say self-discovery. I say know thyself. It's the same thing. But the work you got to put into self-discovery is the same work you got to put into know thyself. How about that? So what they saying, same thing. You should, excuse me, self-discovery. And watch this. But through your studies and your what? Association with who? Those who are more advanced than you, yourself. I don't want to be in the room when I'm the smartest one in the room. That don't move me at all. I play on a football team where I'm the best player, but we suck. So it don't mean nothing to be the best and losing. No good. I want to be mediocre and win. I ain't got a problem with that. Because I know in order for us to win, I got to do my job. When everybody do their job, the job get done, and everybody should win and be successful. That's the formula that works in life. And you should not make it a habit to what? Spend time with who? Those who are ignorant of the mystical philosophy, meaning they just living. They human. They ain't trying to raise their conscious level. They ain't trying to find out who they are. They just doing things. So you got to leave them alone. And those who are worldly minded, or those who are afflicted with what? Low esteem, mortality, or criminal minded. Back in them days, everybody I dealt with was criminal minded. We was doing illegal stuff. That's criminal minded. Now I don't do illegal stuff. Moving on. Just there have to be a change. If you doing something and claim you changed, that means you're no longer doing that. That's what change means. If you're still doing what's not good or not right, because you think nobody know, you ain't changed. You're still doing the same thing. You just got sneaky and you forget. Sees all. Okay, moving on. That's the concept. And that's what I try to tell you. Integrity, meaning doing the right thing when ain't nobody looking but him. That's between you and him. However, those who are worldly minded, who come to you for what? Advice. If you ask me advice, I will because you recognize what? My development and my spiritual qualities, and should therefore, I'm going to receive you, watch this, with what? You ready? Humility. Next lesson coming up. Why? Humility and compassion in time of need. You need to, when somebody is in a situation, they don't want to hear a bunch of nonsense. They want your humility, humble yourself, and they want your compassion. Actually concern and be careful of what they're going through and empathize with them. Egotistical people ain't got a clue about that. They give you a whole bunch, oh, I know how you feel. Don't do that. That's the most disgenuine phrase I can ever hear. Don't do that. Sorry about that. But you got to understand the qualities in life. If you are of stature and people respect you, you have to understand that. So let's move on. Now, when you helping others in this way, you are what? Allowing yourself to be what? A conduit of divine inspiration. I'm trying to get you, inspire you, motivate you to be what? Be your best self. That's all I got for you. I tell you that in the beginning. So I have no other intentions, but in essence, you have to become what? An instrument for divine work by doing what? Your work. And this work, you will become, in this way, you will become more aware of your own divinity. You serving him by doing service for other people who see you in a whole different light. Why? Because you're helping them. In any case, what? You should never take upon yourself, your ego, what? The credit for any deed. Right there. Let me stop. I got to put a pin. My pastor, all the good work he do, all the good things he do, he don't take credit for none. He give it all to God. And I used to say, man, you got to take, nope, I'm learning. See, I ain't above learning. I teach, but I'm not above learning either. I was a student before I was a teacher. So I'm learning other philosophical concepts, other people's biblical concepts. He put the Bible in a whole different manner for me. Why? I can understand it from somebody who knows what they're talking about. I don't want to be shysted and led astray with a bunch of nonsense, so I trust him. Moving on. And that's what I'm saying. His humility is up here, off the chain, off the hazy. Love that guy. Now, when you are full of yourself, taking credit, but you should acknowledge what happened. You don't take credit, your ego self, for the deeds, but you should acknowledge what? Your own divine essence as what? The real doer. The God in me. I don't know why I'm doing this. I don't know. So I'm way past that nonsense, but that's what it's all about. You got to know your body and mind are just what? Instruments of your soul. It needs a body. You are the instrument. You're the vehicle that it needs to drive through the human experience. Hope you're understanding this. Now, I got a picture here of Saul. Right? Now, you see him sitting there, and he's on his throne. Now, what the throne is on top of is the noon, okay? That's the primeval waters, symbolically. And you see growing out under the noon, under his feet, is the lotus flower. Remember I told you the lotus flower? That's the flower that grows in the muck and mire, but when the sun rises, it opens up and it's pure. And dirt can't touch it. It stays pure. Water hit it, roll right off. Okay, that's how we need to be. And they use that symbolically to show you when they make the phrase "go sit at the feet of the master." That's what they was implying. So let's get to this right quick. I don't know if I'm gonna make it to the humility lesson, but I think I can. I think I can. But now, in reference to the veneration you just saw of a spiritual teacher, which is me in this case, the mythology behind the lotus feet of the master is not only used in India, okay, as you have just read in the section, and on an exceptional aspirant or right thinker, but also in Egypt. You look at figure I just showed you, the picture of Osiris as a reproduction of the one which appears in the Hanefer papyrus. You can see that the lotus coming out of the primeval water. I explained that to you from you looking at it, upon which Asar sits as the commander. Remember, he's the first embodiment of the spirit in man. Okay? First with the five elements. He's the sixth, which is spirit in human form. Okay? Moving on. This picture is an actual rendition of what? The papyrus of Ani. In this picture, the lotus springs forth out of the feet of Asar. Thus, Asar is the first known spirit being of the lotus feet. I love this. I hope you're getting the concept. But the feet of the master is a major issue in Christianity. Why? Because as well, the phrase fall at his feet, okay, appears 6 times in the Bible, showing what? The importance of humbling the ego. There you go. The ego have to be humble. Conquered, you got to humble them also. The ego in the presence of what? The holy personality from whom one wishes to draw spiritual grace. When Moses was up on Mount Sinai, God told him, take them sandals off while you're on holy ground. I'm just saying. So he had to what? Humble himself. Get the ego out. No. Well, anywhere you go, check your ego and you'll be fine. If you bring the ego, even in any gathering, be it spiritual, religious, whatever, if you bring it in, you bring an ego in, that's the devil. The devil's in the mix. Every time you got a bunch of people, everybody ain't there for the same reason. Understand that, and that's the concept. Let me get to this next part right here. Now, in John 13, I don't know about the Bible, of the Christian Bible, it says this. Jesus exhorted his disciples to follow his example. And I know we're going with this in humility. Why? He washed other people's feet to show humble himself, but he ain't the first one. Again, this is a lesson that y'all learn. I get it, I understand, but I know where it comes from. Again, this was the major lesson in what? Humility. We're here because they considered him to be what? The most holy personality. They saw him as being somebody, but he's showing, I'm just like you. Watch this. If the most holy personality in the flesh could wash the feet of those who are supposedly not holy or exalted, what does that say about him? What does this mean? It says Jesus explained that indeed they have called me Lord and Master, and he has washed their feet. So they should be what? Humble to wash each other's. Treat each other respectfully. Take care of each other. Am I my brother's keeper? Oh, yeah. You better be. Why? That's what you're supposed to do. He's your brother, if for no other reason. Okay? Y'all might not get along. You might not see eye to eye, but he's still your brother. If my brother called me, I'm stopping, dropping, and going to do what I got to do. That's what I do, even for him. Okay? Not just you. I take care of my family first. Now, Jesus was showing you by example that there's really no job one performs is unimportant or what? Belittling. Servants, that's the job that they perform. They chose that. They're not less than you because they got a job serving you. That's crazy. So they're telling you that. He took it back then. It's always been the same. It ain't changed. Watch this. So, and this is the kind of humility, watch this, and self-effacement which must be developed. It must be developed by you, the right thinker. Most people, if asked to stand at the doorway and wash the feet of their guests, would be what? Humiliated. I ain't doing that. See? Right there. That attitude, ego, stop right there. But all right thinkers, aka aspirants, must develop humility if he or she wants to truly learn from what? A spiritual preceptor, sage. In today's society, People have a what tendency to develop arrogance. That ain't nothing new. And pride what in themselves and their knowledge. My opinion. This is perfect because all you doctors, I'm Dr. So and so. That don't mean nothing to nobody but you. Because you are high and mighty, because you got a little specialty, you got a little knowledge in the doctor field area that you chose. That's fine, respectfully. But that don't make you a good person. That to me, you know yourself. That to me, you have self-discovery. It just means that you study, learn something that you think is worthwhile, and now you want people to acknowledge and respect you. They try to examine everything. These guys, the ego with their little knowledge. Watch this. Now, with such an attitude, they what? They cut themselves off from the possibility of what? Learning something new, other than what they claim they know. Okay, if you learned that, you got that, you can learn nothing else because you think that's it. Again, ego. They try to what? Examine everything intellectually, including spiritual personalities. They will use their so-called intellect to poke holes in your philosophical concepts if it don't agree, or if they don't agree with it in society. They're gonna try to find fault and bang at you. That's where they come at you from an intellectual aspect. Blow their doors off. I wish you would. But this intellectual, again, examination of what or evaluation of things is often what subjective rather than objective. And this is what the egos and no intellects are. They subjective. As long as it falls to the criteria of what they know, it's cool. Outside of that, they're gonna argue because they're not objective. They ain't trying to learn it. They're gonna fight it. Again, perfect example. Hope you get this lesson. I'm going. I got a little more to go. Yeah, okay. But watch this. In their arbitrary frame of mind, people tend to develop what? A debating nature. I say left, you say right. I say up, you say down. For no other reason to debate. I don't debate. I teach, enlighten, inspire, and motivate. Ain't nothing in there that say debate, okay? If you want to learn, fine. You want to teach, do your thing. But debating, having that debating nature, which is what? Directed toward finding faults. Again, rather than what? Toward understanding a concept. I will listen to your philosophy. Listen to it objectively, respectfully. And what I don't agree with, I'll let you know. What I agree with, I'll let you know. But I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm just saying I agree or don't agree. Same thing with my philosophy. You don't have to agree with it. When I explain it, it should at least make sense to you. I'm trying to make sure at least you understand it. Whether you choose to use it, don't make a difference. But I need it to be understood. That's all. Moving on. And what happened to these kind of people? They examine philosophers and always what? Finding something wrong with them. And never are they able to discover the philosophy true meaning and the correct ones assist their spiritual growth. They will not learn a philosophy other than their own. So they won't grow spiritually outside of what they already know. That's being subjective and it's being asinine and egotistical and ignorant. Now, if you approach me, a teacher, with what? That attitude? Or the attitude, what? I already know all of this stuff. I've been hearing that for years. I know about the Sabbath. I know about Jim. I know about how. Okay. I studied it. I mastered it. You knowing about it means nothing to me. Okay. But let me see what this person has to say anyway. So they coming in with attitude. When I was teaching my lessons out in Patterson, every week it was an issue. I'm like, I'm not here to argue and debate. I'm here to teach. But because it was subjective people, all they want to do is what? Debate and argue and find fault. Still trying. Ain't found it yet. Now, you will not, with that attitude, you will not be able to learn anything. Why? Because your mental frame of mind is closed to what? Learning anything other than what you already know. How you going to learn something you already know? Enlightenment means I'm going to give you something that you don't already know. How you feel about that make a difference, but if you choose not to learn it, that's your choice. But I'm going to tell you something that you don't know. I'm not that dude. I already know that. I already know. You don't know everything. I can tell you. Trust me. I do studying, so I know what I'm talking about. And watch this. You will not be able to learn why. Okay, did that. And you are. This called being what? Prejudice. When you against something just because, that's just being prejudiced. We call you haters. Okay. when you have discovered someone who inspires you, watch this, and engenders faith in you, help you out, give you motive and reason for doing something, then you must what? Humble yourself to that person. I don't need nobody humbling themselves to me. Why? I'm just a teacher. I just give you information that you can use and better yourself. I don't need no humbling. I ain't down. I ain't be for none of that. Trust me. So I'm not big on that nonsense. But you, in other words, you must what? Bow to their lotus feet. Symbolically, yeah, that means respect me. I got a problem, but I don't need you to really come get my feet and bow. That's nonsense. We take stuff literally. Everything we doing is mental and symbolic. You can make it worthwhile if you practice it, manifest it, and it becomes yours. Only then can what? A spiritual education truly begin in earnest. My disciple been with me 5 years. Never questioned a word I gave him. Never debated a word I came to him with. And he's learned the philosophical concept from that aspect, and now he's mastered of himself. I know it works on other people too. Only then, watch this, only then can there be a true teacher, student, or spiritual preceptor disciple relationship. That's what I have. That's what I'm trying to engender all my right thinkers to be what? A disciple student relationship. I'm going to teach you, you're going to learn, you're going to do what you need to do with it. That's the relationship we got. That's for my right thinkers. That's the lesson. And in closing, right thinkers, may you let it be 100. May 100 minus a day. So I never know right thinkers like you passed away. Oh, I'll be back.